Yes. Thank you for whoever stated that. I love you. Thank you for sharing that. So with that being said, this is a tasty snack. We are not covering all things in Canvas. Matter of fact, it will be impossible to cover that in the 45 minutes that we have here with you today. So please feel free to throw in your questions. And Carrie, if you just confirm with me, I don't remember, are we using the same question answer document in all of our sessions?
I think so. I think that's easiest. Yeah.
Okay. And then I don't have access to one, so I don't know if you want to put one together. And if you do, that's awesome. But the other thing too is if you had a moment of time to work on some things, not Carrie, but the rest of our audience, I gave you this bit.ly address, which I'll throw back in again. And this was just simply, you can throw in your questions here. This is more about just like, how are things going for you? But Carrie's going to create a question and answer document, which we've been using for all of our sessions, and we'll throw that in there as well. And like I said, we'll do our best to go ahead and we'll do our best to kind of like, look at some of these questions and respond to some of them. We're not going to be able to cover all of those today, but I will let you know the first question, which I love, is how steep is the learning curve? And I'll let you know up front, Canvas is a fantastic tool that requires some learning. That's just what it is. Integration with Seesaw, there are some potentials, absolutely. But with everything in Canvas, everything you add on is going to be something you need to teach and work with your students. So anyways, I'll come back to that in a few minutes, but for now, and I'm not going to stay on slides the whole time. We're actually going to do demos and all that. But I do want you to know that we are moving. Our goal is to move from a crisis teaching perspective in the spring to more like an intentional teaching, comprehensive distance learning, if you want to call it that. Or that's what the ODE in our district is calling it. And purposeful, we're trying to do our best. So our theme, Carrie and I are presenting quite often this week and next week, is the same thing, the same 5 buckets, the same information, because we want you in the audience to make a connection to what those things are doing. And then of course, comprehensive distance learning, our team's best synthesizing of the material from the 46-page document, which if you want to read tonight, we'll put the link in. It's basically humanizing and intentionally online learning. And that is really important for us to realize that the humanizing is going to be a huge component of that. And then again, the 5 buckets, which we're talking about, you're going to connect with your kids, so you're going to engage, you're going to teach, check, and respond. And the powerful thing about Canvas is you can do all of these things with Canvas. Now, today, we're not going to cover all that, but a few people were asking questions like, what about communication, or what about being able to, capture students' thoughts or activities, and we can do that all with Canvas. All right. So in the chat, do me a favor, just take a moment and respond to this question. How does this meme resonate with you? So when you see, I've used this meme for nonstop for a few months. So when you think about this meme and you've looked at it and you probably have seen plenty others, how does this resonate with you, your position, your experience, your mindset for what's coming up this fall? Yeah, I love it. The work isn't easy, right, Carrie? I think 100%. Yeah, the work isn't easy. It's super challenging, that's for sure. I feel like as a teacher, I would want my administrators to understand that perspective. And I think they do, but I think it's important that they definitely understand that. Counseling relies so heavily on reading student and body language and micro movements. It's very difficult to do in a Zoom. Oh gosh, yeah, I 100% agree with you. I think that it's one thing to build, like right now I can see Carrie's looking at me, but I don't know if Carrie's playing video games. I don't know if Carrie likes to multitask, so she could be making dinner right now. I don't know, and she's really good at that. So I agree with you that that's her perspective on that. So. Yeah, and there's a lot to move into online learning in a lot of places. And so our goal today is to present some simplicity to it. So I'm going to go through a few slides. You can definitely throw in the questions. Carrie and I and Kat will respond. I'll respond live. We can do it in the chat. But basically, what is Canvas? And right now, for some of you at home right now, and you can put it in an emoji if you want to, or a thumbs up. But if you've used Seesaw or Canvas, if you used Seesaw or Google Classroom last year, then you've already have experience with an online platform. And I want you to think that Canvas is like that. It is a virtual classroom. So what do you think about walking into your physical classroom? You have a whiteboard, you have books, you have things that you want your students to engage in. Well, Canvas is much the same. It's a virtual classroom where you want your students to engage in the learning. You can communicate with them, you can work with them in small groups, and there is room for them to socially interact in Canvas, like in or in discussions where students can actually interact with one another and learn from one another. And then at the very simple thing, if you have any experience with Wix, Weebly, Google Sites, it is a web page. I mean, and Carrie and Kat, you guys can jump in anytime, but at the most basic, it is a website. It is just simply something that you're going to make so somebody can look at it, click, and go do something. And so I don't want you to get bogged down into the Bitmoji world of, oh, I have to create all this great stuff. No, it's a website. And the website's rules are the same in Canvas. It has to be accessible, and it has to be able to be used with multiple devices. And then finally, you can central hub, but my favorite phrase about Canvas is, it is the place that tells a story of learning. And as teachers, we collect student evidence of learning, their thinking, their processing, and we put it in some type of collection agency, a grade book or something like that. Well, Canvas does that for you automatically. It collects all of that work, archives it, and you can pull from it previous years. And Kat, I don't know if you want to speak to that, but have you had or have you needed to pull from previous years with your student work in Canvas?
Well, that's exactly why I went to Canvas, was because I found that using so many different platforms, I had materials and resources in so many different places. And I wanted something that could house everything at once, and then it could be readily pulled out, just like my file drawer right beside my desk in real world. I could just pull out those materials and they're ready to go with maybe a few updates the following year. I wanted to make life as easy as I could for myself. And Canvas was the best tool that of all the many platforms I was using. And quite frankly, I was spread way too thin trying to keep up on all of those, that I just decided last year I was going to focus on the one. And it was very effective for me that way.
Awesome.
So I have a lot of modules that I can pull right out right now and use. And I found out last year too, while I was doing it, that I would create those weekly modules. And then after I'd created the first week, with the way the district was providing our lessons for us, all it was a matter of was copying that module and then just changing the specific lessons. It made my life so much easier.
And some of those things that Kat's speaking about, like modules, and so those are terminology that we'll get into, especially when we get into the training. But basically, for those who are at home, like, what's a module? Well, remember those old days where you'd go to the filing cabinet and you'd pull out a file folder, and this was the unit on, I don't want to say dinosaur unit, but this is a unit that you worked on for your class, right? And in that unit was maybe a quiz or maybe an article that you wanted them to read. So you had it on paper pencil or paper format, and you would go to the copier room and you make copies. Well, Canvas and a module is much like that. I can put in a quiz. I can put in a discussion where students could engage with one another. I can put in an article for them to read. I can bring something from Google Drive and put it in a module. And now my students can engage in all those components to learn perhaps towards the large target. So basically a module at the most basic level is the old school file folder. Carrie was laughing at me one day because she said she would have hers in a binder with page, what do they call them, Carrie? Page protectors. Because if she were to give it to me, she'd want to make sure that I didn't ruin it for her. So it was all protected and kept safe. But that's the point. It was organized and she knew exactly what her students were doing. Well, in the digital world, in Canvas, that's how you use modules. So that's what the powerful thing about Canvas as far as modules. So again, what can Canvas do for me and my students? And if you've used Seesaw and Google Classroom, again, this is not one is better than the other. It's just simply letting you know what you can do, and you can still manage your workflow. You will not have to add students. You will not have to roster, keep track of students, or anything like that. All that's going to be done for you automatically. Matter of fact, we're going to give you a course with a little template, a home page that you can actually use and hit publish, boom, we're ready to go, and you can actually engage your students pretty quickly. But you can incorporate Khan Academy, YouTube, Newsell, and other applications. At the high school level, we have Turnitin for plagiarism. We can also incorporate WeVideo and Adobe Spark, which means a student can complete a task in Adobe Spark and send it right to you in Canvas. And you can give them feedback right in Canvas, and then you don't have to worry about, you know, who sent it. As an elementary teacher or as a teacher, what's the worst thing that drove me nuts when I handed out papers for students to do work and they were supposed to turn it back to me? What's that one thing that drove you nuts? And it was probably going to be they turned it with no names, right? So with Canvas, I still want them to put their name on the Google document, but when they submit it to me, It doesn't really matter. It comes, if Carrie submits it to me, it comes from Carrie. I don't have to Google Drive. I don't have to look at my email. It comes specifically. So when I say it manages your classroom, no more lost papers, no more I didn't turn my homework in, no more I didn't put my name in my paper, no more taking stacks of paper home to grade, because effectively you can do most of that in a digital space. All right, now it is an important thing that I want everybody to realize that this is not Canvas versus Seesaw, and this is not Canvas versus Google Classroom. This is simply giving teachers at home right now an option. If you're in a school and your school is talking, hey, 4th and 5th grade, should we use Canvas this year? Should we use Seesaw? Carrie and I are supporting both of you. We have no dog in this fight. We're not fighting each other. We're not trying to get clients. We're just here to support our teachers. And so with that being said, if your school says we're going to use Seesaw all the way through, we're here to support you. If you're going to use Canvas, we're here to support you. But just a couple of differences between those two applications, because if it comes down to which is better, I want you to think it's not so much which one is better, but more about which fits your workflow. And basically, what fits your workflow and what also fits your students and your parents. The one thing that Canvas and Seesaw both have are parents. I will let you know that every single parent in the district who has a parent view account has an automatic Canvas account. You don't have to add them. There's no codes, there's nothing. Students and parents are already logged in. So when you create work in Canvas and you want your parents to be aware of that, they automatically have that information, okay? All right, and then things like what can I do? What I love about Seesaw is the simplicity. There's a button and you can do a lot of things in Seesaw, and that's what I love about Seesaw. Canvas, there's a little bit more work to it because there's a few more buttons to do, but this quick picture that you see allows you to say that you can add the images, you can add video, you can record yourself, your students can record themselves, you can bring in YouTube videos. And a big positive to the YouTube videos is when you put a YouTube video in Canvas, there's no, what's the term, Kat? Like it says suggested videos or something like that, right? So when the videos are in YouTube, they're not gonna get a whole pile of suggested videos. They're in Canvas and they're in a much more safer spot. And Kat, I don't know if that was your experience with using it or.
Where's my, yeah, that was my, I'm sorry, my spacebar mute button's not working. So yeah, that was my experiences. I felt like I could use YouTube really seamlessly and not worry about them getting all the other stuff.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with giving a link to a YouTube video. But if I was a teacher, I would prefer to put the YouTube video in physically in Canvas, and they don't have to leave Canvas. They're staying in that space. So, all right. So what does Canvas look like? So a couple things today. We're actually going to, I'm going pretty fast, actually. We're going to give you a demo and an opportunity to actually look and investigate in your courses. Yeah, Miss Kat's laughing because she knows I borrowed her courses. This is Miss Kat's 5th grade dashboard. And what I mean by that is when you log into Canvas, this is the first thing you see. You're confronted with basically they're called course tiles or courses, but these are the courses that you either teach as a teacher, a student would see courses that they are enrolled in, and a parent would see the same thing. The great thing about Canvas is the experience from students, parents, and teachers when they log into Canvas is the same. If I'm a parent right now of somebody in Kat's class, this is what I will see. I will see the same thing that Kat sees as a teacher and the same thing that her students see. So there is some great comfort in knowing that your students and parents and teachers all have the same experience. And then as far as the dashboard, I mean, these are the courses that I would click on and they would take me into those courses. So I want to pause for just a minute and just see, like, Carrie, do you want to add anything? Or Kat, do you want to add something? Or do you have, is there anybody who has any questions at home they want to throw in the chat that we could specifically answer? And if we don't, it's okay. It's no problem. All right. Yeah, and we'll make sure you have the slide deck in a little bit. I realized I didn't add a picture. What do I have to do in the fall? Well, in the fall, you're going to be given the courses that you teach. We'll have to cough. Sorry, I apologize. In the fall, when school starts, your Canvas screen will look just like this when you log in, and it'll say, you know, I see it's Heidi's here today. So it'll say, you know, Miss Heidi's 4th grade class or 5th grade class, whatever grade level she teaches, that's what she'll see. So you don't have to manage, again, the students. You don't have to add students. You don't have to worry about any of that. They're already going to be rostered for you. The only thing you really have to do, to be quite honest, is you could personalize your homepage, because we are going to be giving you a template, which we'll show you in a bit, like what a template looks like. And then add a few items for your students to engage in. And in my opinion, a discussion is the simplest and probably the most robust thing that your students can engage in. And it's the simplest thing to create in Canvas. And then you're going to publish the course. To be honest, Canvas is really it can be that simple. Yes, you can add a lot more to it. But the great thing about Canvas is you don't have to do all those things right now. Can you make professional co-teachers? Yeah. Yes. Can you make paraprofessionals as co-teachers? Yeah. And I don't know if you want to talk to that either, but yes, if you had a colleague or someone that you want to add as a co-teacher, you can do that to any of your Canvas courses as well.
I just put in the chat, I responded to that question.
Okay.
I added my ELD teacher because we were doing the co-teaching model.
Okay.
And so I added her in there so she could see and communicate with students as well. And she could see their responses and their work. And that was helpful to us both.
Yeah, and I will say a challenge, and not necessarily a problem, but a challenge is if you're a student if you're a paraprofessional, or like if you're special ed and you support 25 students in that school that you work at, and you're added to each one of those students' courses, you could potentially, instead of having what Kat had, which is like 6 or 7 or 8 courses, you could potentially have 50 or 60 courses. And so I'm just letting you know up front that it's a good idea to add co-teachers or other people who are going to support students. But the caveat to that is you potentially could be kind of like a little bit overwhelmed with all the information. So it's something that I can help you. We can work through, but just as an FYI. So it says maybe they're advanced, but will these courses address confidentiality? I don't want parents and other students to see things. You know, that's a good question. A parent will only see their child's assignments or grades. They will never see discussions in the classroom. So a parent can only access that information. Now, a student who responds to a discussion, everybody in class sees that. A student who turns an assignment into their teacher, only the teacher will see that. Correct, Kat? That's basically from your experience, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. So again, you know, how I organize in the fall. So I've been wrestling with this conversation for a long time. Kat and I've had probably 10 hours worth of phone calls over the past summer. And one of the biggest questions that elementary teachers have is, how do I organize my content? Well, I see that we have a potential some secondary teachers here. In junior high and high school, if I am a humanities teacher and I teach Humanities 7, I get one course called Humanities 7, and then my 3 class periods fit inside, or 4 class periods. So I only get one course. But in elementary, I'm responsible for teaching math, science, social studies, health. And if I forget something, please tell me. And then I think, what am I missing? In ELA, reading and writing. So this year, you know, we're talking with Kat and a few other elementary teachers. I believe the direction I'm going to go, which means I'm the one setting this up, is going to be giving a homeroom Canvas course to every single teacher in the district. And then also a course for your content. So math, science and health will be combined, social studies, and ELA, which would be that reading and writing. You do not have to use all of them. If you only want to use a homeroom course, that's it. Like, hey, for the first few weeks, I don't want to be overdated. I just want to use my homeroom course. That's the only course I want to communicate with my students with. You can do that. So I feel like giving teachers the flexibility of using all the courses at the beginning or choosing the one is going to be much more realistic than it would be if I only gave you the one course. And I can let Kat, if you want to talk to that real quick. Traditionally, elementary teachers have only been given the homeroom course. And so I don't know if you want to take a second and talk about that, Kat.
Yeah, I think the thing that was tough with just having the one course, and the way, this is one of the areas where I want to do it differently. Because I did it by week, which I think there was really good value in doing that. But now, if I want to go back and redo my fantasy unit for this year, and I want to make it so that they have to do this activity, and then it makes them do that one in order, each activity in order. I have to go back through all the weeks that we had fantasy unit, and now I'm going to have to pull those individual assignments and put them into one place. And I really just wish I would have done that to begin with. So this is going to be a way to make that happen. All your content areas will be in the same place, and then you can just direct the navigation the way you want it to be. You don't even have to use all of those if you don't want. You have more flexibility this way.
I think that a way for me to think about this, and if you've taught as long as I have, remember those old 5-subject spiral notebooks that we would probably have our students have to go buy? Well, this is kind of set up that way. You have a 5-subject spiral notebook. You could choose to use the entire notebook as just one subject area if you wanted to, or you could choose to say, all right, friends, we're going to be going to our math section in our notebook. So go ahead and turn to that section, and that's where we're going to be working in our math. Hey, turn to today's reading section or science section. So the whole point of this is, if I gave you just the one notebook and you had to have all of your students do all of the learning for all the subject areas in the one notebook, you're already limited. But by giving you a 5-subject notebook, then you can make the choice. I'll stick with one, or I can split off and actually really diversify and decide where I want my content to go. And I know we're using the words like content and stuff like that, and we'll show you the Canvas course in just a brief moment, but I feel like that's the perspective when I think about this picture. In this picture, you have a homeroom class. That's where is it in the middle. This is Snyder's homeroom course. And then you see an ELA, a math, science, health, and social studies. Things like SEL content or anything where you want to engage students with just maybe your circle or your morning announcements, that could be homeroom. And then if you want your students to turn in something specifically for social studies, well, when it comes to you, you can actually go look at social studies and look at the grade book and go, oh, here's my students who've turned in the work. So that's where I feel like that organization is coming into play. So that being said, how will it be organized? This is just an example. You could create some buttons or some links that says, hey, you can take a button and go to your ELA class, or a button that goes to your social studies class. And remember, Canvas is a web page. That's really what it is at the most fundamental level. So if you wanted a button that helps your students get to math or to science, you can do that. The cool thing about this is it doesn't matter if they're in science, math, or ELA. They're still in Canvas. You're not sending them out in the world to go navigate. You're going to bring that in for them. So, all right, how do I access Canvas? Every school teacher in this space right now, if you are a current classroom teacher, meaning you've taught in, the good old days, remember 2019, the really good year that we had? So if you've taught in 2019, you already have a Canvas course, and this is how you would access it. You could actually go to the teacher bookmarks or staff bookmarks, and you can actually click on Canvas. You'll notice that my Canvas is at the top. And so this is where I'm going to go ahead and hit escape. My Canvas is at the top, but yours might be at the bottom. So if I go to the staff page, and it'll take a couple seconds to scroll, this pencil right here allows me to drag any icon where I want, and then I just go ahead and hit the X. So currently, I put Canvas at the top. Yours may be at the very, very bottom. So again, staff bookmarks, pencil, and I can drag and drop whichever application I want and press the X. And once I've logged into Canvas, then I'm actually going to go ahead and go to my dashboard. And Kat, is it okay if do you want to share your screen logged into Canvas, or do you want me to share yours? What would you feel comfortable with?
You can share mine.
Okay.
All
right.
You've got.
Awesome. So I'm gonna if Kat. Huh?
It's kind of a mess.
Oh, it's kind of a mess. Oh, that's okay.
I've done
that's
nothing fancy with my homepage, just saying. I took everything that was just pre-given, and I did just like nothing fancy, no Bitmoji,
right.
Nothing.
Right.
But don't look for that.
No, all I'm going to do is just log in and just say, this is who you are, right? So, all right. So this is Kat. She is logged in, and when Kat goes to her Canvas course, when she logs in, as soon as she clicks on the button that says Canvas, she is taken to her dashboard. That's it. She's already there. Kat doesn't have to make these courses live. She's already had those courses created for her, and her 5th grade course is right here. And so that's it. So that's all she has to do is log in and see it. All of you at home right now, every single one of you has your Canvas course right now. Matter of fact, all of the students that you left, sadly left face-to-face in March, every single one of them are still in that course. So if you are a fourth grade teacher right now, you could click on the dashboard and you will see your students who are still enrolled in that course. And the reason why I'm telling you this is because if you were like, I think I just want to play around, I think I just want to see what Canvas looks like, you can log into your account right now, and it may not be all that exciting to look at it, but you can go ahead and click on any course you want. Kat says I have permission to click on her course, so I'll click on her course. And if I want to, I can click edit, and I can just start making things happen. I mean, I'm not, again, we're not going through the basics, we're not going through the nitty gritty of how to use Canvas and create pages and all that, but if you want to log into Canvas, go to your fourth grade homeroom or fifth grade homeroom, you'll see that I already gave you a template. And if you want to click edit and you're like, oh, I think I'm going to kind of mess around, go for it. You're not going to break anything. It is totally okay if you want to do that. So with that being said, I'm okay with just showing a few extras, and I'll give you the links to these. These are all public. So right now, I know I'm going to lose you as an audience, and I'm okay with that. This, I'm pushing it right now in the chat, is the course that you can go look at. So you're going to get in the link. You can click on that link right now, and you can go look at this course. This is a middle school course. I'm giving you a middle school course because some fifth grade teachers, hey, I'm thinking that my fifth graders are going to become sixth graders next year. What if I design with intentionality or thinking about how middle schoolers? So that's why I'm giving you that course. But you can see this teacher has basically organized their material by what's called units. I can click on a unit and it'll take me there. I mean, I'm pretending to be Kat, so I can't show it. So the other one I'm going to give to you right now is this one. No, not that one. That one's like overload. This one is the fifth grade course. So in the chat, I'm throwing in the fifth grade one. It's called the fifth grade visual arts. Access denied. Oh, and you should be able to jump on every single one of these courses are public, meaning you do not need to log in to these courses. So Kat, I don't know if you want to like, oh, they're all access denied. Ah,
Yeah, how come? Why?
oh, I don't know. That's kind of strange. It shouldn't be. You should all have access to these, but I apologize. We'll fix it. We'll fix it. Yeah. Carrie, I don't know if you can get on those, or Kat, can you click on one and you actually get into that one? Can you get into the second grade one? What I'm doing is I'm just making sure that I can go in here and look at the course, and right now it's set to public, which means it's actually just a web page. Anybody can access that course with no problem. So it looks like mine takes me to where it says Canvas. Oh, is it asking you to log in, friends? Kat, is it asking you to log in?
It is, but then I get to the access denied page.
Access denied here as well.
Oh, so sad to me. Okay, so here's what we'll do. I'll make life even easier. Watch. You ready? I'm going to give you the link that you can all actually just go ahead and enroll in it. How's that sound? You will have to be logged into Canvas. But here is the second grade one. So click on that second link. If you want to enroll in that second link, you can do that. Let me go ahead and give you the fifth grade one. And then that will ask you if you want to enroll, and then you can enroll in that course. And here is the fifth grade. Boom, there you go. And then finally, I will add. Yes, ma'am.
Mine's telling me it has something to do with my browser. I may not have the most.
Okay, it's very possible. Yeah, it's supposed to be. We're supposed to be using Chrome. Sometimes it depends on what kind of device we're using. And here is the third one. So does that sound like it's working now? If I put that in, are you in a better position? Might ask you to enroll, but since you're Beaverton School District teachers, you should be able to access that with no problem. So, anyways, like I said, today is just kind of like the real basics. We're not gonna have a lot of time to really go deep into how to use Canvas, but I can tell you that every single teacher here in our school has access to their previous Canvas courses, and you could look at. You can see your students if you want to. You don't have to do any work, but if you want to log in, you'll notice it. So if I click on my dashboard, like I mentioned a few minutes ago, this is my dashboard. This is the courses that I've been enrolled in. and I can move my courses around and put them in any position I want. And I think, can you guys see my screen still? There we go. Yeah, so I can move these courses around. I can also go ahead and click on the little jelly beans, and I can go ahead and rename it, or I can add colors. The renaming of it is only for you personally. So I don't know how many of you are parents at home in our school district, but if you're a parent of a middle school and high school parent or high school kid child, and you have maybe 2 students who have lots of courses, as a parent, I can rename these courses to fit me, and I can give them colors. So I might have red is going to be my daughter's course, and yellow is going to be all of my son's courses. So as a parent, I can also do the same thing and rearrange my dashboard and help me go ahead and search through things. Awesome. Yeah. So and this is where it gets a bit dicey. Somebody's asking, they're an SLP, and so at Springville. So this is where things get a little bit challenging, much just like Seesaw. If you're not a classroom teacher with a Synergy rostered course, you actually won't have any Canvas courses. You could be added to those courses. You certainly can make your own course. And matter of fact, right now, anybody can go ahead and click start a new course, and anyone can go ahead and give it any name they want. And you can go ahead, oh, sorry, I spelled it wrong. And you can actually make your own course and actually play around with it if you want to. But for our faculty who do, our staff who don't have a Synergy created class, you won't have those courses for you already made. Like somebody had mentioned earlier, you could be added to those courses, but I might caution you on being added to 50 courses, because that's probably what you're going to end up being added to. At the same time, I might also caution you on creating multiple Canvas courses and inviting all those students to your Canvas courses, because now those students have gone from 5 courses to potentially 7 or 8 or 9 courses. So it gets a bit challenging. Yeah, you can start adding units. And here's the thing that I love about being able to work in Canvas. If you want to start to actually do something in Canvas, you can do whatever you want in your course. And then when the school starts in the fall, you can simply go to settings, and you can go ahead, go to settings, and I can go ahead and hit import, and I can import from a previous Canvas course anything I want. So you're not going to lose any time. You will not lose any, you will not waste any time, and you will not lose any information. So you could potentially do that. We're running out of time, but so I want to show you one last place before we leave. And so the last place I want to show you is right over here, and I'll zoom in a little bit. So what you can see right now in Canvas is this button called the Commons, and I'll click on that. And the Commons is like a repository, a place where everyone in the world wants to share their stuff for free. So this is where I say you can steal like an artist, borrow like a teacher. So I can click on the Commons, again, the left-hand side. It'll automatically, it might ask you to authorize, but it'll log me in. And then I'm going to go ahead and type in 5th grade. That's it. That's all I'm going to type in. And then on the right-hand side, just like a Google filter, I'm going to filter it down. I'm going to say filter, and I'm going to say, I want a 5th grade course. I just want to go see what other 5th grade teachers have been doing in life. And then I can look through here and go, oh my goodness, look at all of these courses. And you can click on one, and it'll give you a preview as to what that course looks like. Oh, it looks like this teacher has set up theirs Monday reading and math. So I'm going to go look at, and what I'm looking at right now is this Monday is considered a module, and Tuesday and Wednesday. Well, let me go look at it. And you can go ahead and look at it. And by looking at it, you're not doing anything. You're not wrecking their course. You're just looking. And then I'm going to go look at their homepage. They have a homepage in here somewhere. I don't know where it is. Most teachers would have a homepage, but so I'll hit back and I'll choose a different teacher. But if you want to, you can go to the Commons. It costs you nothing. You will not have to pay for anything. Find something that you like, hit import, and you can import it into one of your courses. I suggest that you create a fake course today. Again, dashboard, start a new course, and I would suggest you call it fake course. And then when you're in the Commons, you can specifically go ahead and import by clicking import and saying, hey, you know what? I want to bring in this course into my fake course. and I want to go take a look at it. Can you edit when somebody else is done? Yeah, once you bring it into your course, it's just like Google Documents. If Carrie gives me a Google document and shares it to me and she says, go for it, Chris, do whatever you want, then I can edit and change and do whatever I want. It will not affect the teacher who put it in the comments whatsoever. And can you get rid of it? Yes, that's my favorite thing. This is the reason why I say when you're in Canvas and you don't like the course, you can click on Settings, and on the right-hand side, you can just simply say, delete this course. I won't delete this one. The reason why I say fake course, go for it. Delete your fake courses, because after a while, they get bloated and you don't want them. So it's 10:42. We have time for a couple of questions and answers. I think I don't want to keep you too much longer. Can we edit somebody else's and then import? Yeah, you can import anything you want from the Commons into your Canvas course. If you don't want a whole course, then you know what? I want to do a 5th grade discussion, and I'm going to call it beginning of the year. Let's see if somebody's got a discussion. Oh, look at that. A grades 1 through 5, beginning of the school year discussion. I click on that. And then, oh, wow, look at. So here's some questions that this teacher's created. I can physically now import just the quiz into my Canvas course and use it, edit it, change it, manipulate it, whatever I want. Yeah, too much information. I agree with you. Yeah.
Can you talk to the other Canvas offerings that you have this week? I think there's a 101 and a 201 that elementary teachers could also watch.
Yeah, we're going to do a 101 and a 101 and 102 or 201, I think. And we're going to be very specifically going into spending some time learning how to make the page, learning how to add some specific things to your Canvas course. So we're going to go at a slower pace because it's going to be a slow, you do, I do, you do, we do, basically kind of process. And so today was a snack, and it was probably quite honestly a fast snack, actually. So, but yeah, we're going to have those on Thursday, and then next week we're going to be offering more sessions, and the week after as well. Is that good, Carrie? What do you think?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. And this one is being recorded, and again, and I agree with you. There's a lot to know, but it is a snack. And where can you check in for this course? I think we can go ahead and do this right now. Oh, I have my link there, perhaps, but here, I'll put the link in right now. So here's the link for you, for all of you, where you can go ahead and check into today's course.
Chris,
yes, go ahead.
People are asking if you could publish those courses that you gave the links to so that they can access them.
Oh, you know what? I think actually that's the reason why you can't access. Oh, I'm laughing my head off now. That's why you can't. All right, here we go. Publish. Publish. And we're waiting for it. Yeah, that's why you couldn't get into it. Here I was explaining to a teacher yesterday that when you don't publish your course, it's like having the front door closed, but your classroom's all decorated. They can't get in. So, Kat, thank you so much. Here we go. 5th grade visual arts courses now published. Now you can actually get to those courses. That's why I gave you the link at the very beginning, because like they're public. Anybody can get to them, but I didn't publish the course. So that should be good to go. Thanks for telling me that, Kat. All right. It's pretty much time for us to leave. So I'll hang out for another minute. If you want to throw in a few questions, I'll try to get to some questions. Yeah, and so hopefully it says access tonight. Yeah, my goodness gracious. I apologize. I will do my best. I'll send out some information for you so you have a chance to actually look at these Canvas courses. I apologize to that. So yeah, it still asks for you to log in. So anyways, thanks for hanging out with me today. I appreciate all of you, and have a great day.